I'm lounging about a mile above Leadville, along Evans Gulch, just above a beaver dam. I don't think you can see it exactly, but trust me, it's there. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to read a passage about the fur trade, specifically a description by George Fredrick Ruxton, written in 1846. He wrote it further down the Arkansa River, but chances are quite good that he wrote it very close to this location. Beaver was once found in every part of North America, from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico, but is now gradually retired from the encroachments and persecutions of civilized man, and is met with only in the far, far west. The tributaries of the great rivers and the streams which water the mountain valleys and the great chain of the Rocky Mountains. On the waters of the Platte and the Arkansa, they are still numerous, and within the last 2 years have increased considerably in numbers. But the best trapping ground is now in the streams running through the Bayou Salado and the old and new parks, all of which are elevated mountain valleys. The habits of the beaver present quite a study to the naturalist, and they are certainly the most sagaciously instinctive of all quadrupeds. Their dams afford a lesson to the engineer, their houses a study to the architect of comfortable abodes, while their unremitting labor and indefatigable industry are models to be followed by the working man. The lodge of the beaver is generally excavated in the bank of the stream, the entrance being invariably underwater, but not infrequently, where the banks are flat, they construct lodges in the stream itself of a conical form, of limbs and branches of trees woven together and cemented with mud. For the purpose of forming dams for the necessary timber for their lodges, or for the bark which they store for their winter supply of food, the beaver often fells a tree 8 or 10 inches in diameter, throwing it with the skill of an expert woodsman in any direction he pleases, always selecting a tree above a stream in order that the logs may be carried down with it to their destination. The log is then chopped into small lengths, and pushing them into the water, the beaver steers them to the lodge or dam. The trees are as cleanly cut as they could be by a sharp axe, the gouging furrows made by the animal's strong teeth cutting into the very center of the trunk, the notch being as smooth as sawed wood. With his broad tail, which is 12 or 14 inches long and about 4 in breadth, and covered with a thick, scaly skin, the beaver plasters his lodge, thus making it perform all of the offices of a hand. They say that when the beaver's tail becomes dry, the animal dies, but whether this is the case or not, I have myself seen the beaver, when at work, return to the water and plunge his tail into the stream, and then resume his labor with renewed vigor. And I have also seen them with their bodies on the bank, thumping the water with their tails with a most comical performance. The female seldom produces more than 3 kittens at birth, but I know an instance where one was killed with young, having no less than 11 in her. They live to a considerable age, and I once ate the tail of an old man beaver whose head was perfectly gray with age, and his beard was of the same venerable hue, notwithstanding which his tail was as tender as a young raccoon. The kittens are as playful as their namesakes of the feline race, and it is highly amusing to see an old one with grotesque gravity inciting her young to gambol about her while she herself is engaged about some household work.